Exclusive Addons for Elementor is an add-on that's starting to gain more attention in the Elementor community. It's being offered through a freemium model with both free and pro versions. It's a newish plugin. The first version appeared in the WordPress plugin directory about 2 years ago. Since that time, the team behind it have been steadily adding widgets and features to the point where they feel they are ready to break out from the pack. Recently, they've gotten a lot higher profile through more aggressive marketing and sales. In this video, I want to take a look at Exclusive Addons, discuss the strengths and weaknesses, and where I think it stands in relation to other add-on packs. I have here a testing site with the free Cadence theme, and I've loaded it up with some posts, and I have a custom post type called book. If we look at the plugins, we can see I have both free and pro installed, but pro has been deactivated. The free plugins available from the WordPress plugin directory. You can see it's got more than 8,000 active installs. It's got a perfect 15 5-star reviews, and the support team has been active. All the support tickets have had answers, and many of them are marked as closed. Going back to our site, when you activate Exclusive Addons, you get a menu item in the admin. And it has several tabs. The general tab where you can get to documentation and support. Then there's an elements tab which lists all of the widgets. The pro ones have a pro tag here, and thankfully I appreciate that they're listed in alphabetical order, and you can turn on and off ones, so if you're not planning to use some, you can turn them off and make the editor a little easier to navigate. I counted 31 free widgets, and you can see that many of them are the kind of thing we've come to expect in Elementor add-ons, like an accordion or a button or a call to action. There's a contact form 7, a dual button, a dual heading, and so on. But there are also a couple of unusual ones, such as a COVID-19 stats widget that we'll take a look at. And there's also this demo previewer, which is kind of interesting. The next tab is for extensions. You can see there are 2 in the free version, Post Duplicator and Exclusive Sticky, and then 4 in the pro version, Section Particles, Section Parallax, Gradient Animation, and Cross-Site Copy Paste. There's a Style tab where you can select a primary and secondary color. And then there's an API keys tab that shows where you can enter your keys for Google Map or MailChimp. I'm going to go ahead and activate the pro version of the add-on. I've already entered my license key. When you enable the pro add-on, most of these tabs and menus and everything are the same, but you get one extra one here for header and footer. And here, this is where you create the template for your header and footer. And we'll come back and take a look at that in a few minutes when we are working in the editor. This is the website for Exclusive Addons. A couple of nice things about the website is that they have a list of all the widgets, and they have demos for a lot of them. So it's nice, you can go and see the demos for all the widgets. They do have a list of all of the pages. There are not very many, and there are only 2 free ones. And they also have a large number of blocks, which don't show here. If we look at the documentation, this is a strength of the plugin. They have pretty extensive step-by-step instructions for all of the widgets. So that's a real nice thing about this add-on. And then if we look at the pricing, we can see that there's currently a sale going. But the normal price is from $39 a year for one site to $499 a year for unlimited lifetime. This seems kind of high. I don't know if they are using that as a sales technique. This is much more reasonable amount to me, but every company sets their own prices. So let's go back to our testing site and take a look first at the extensions. Note that the first extension is this exclusive duplicator. So there are several add-on packs that offer this, but it's a real nice convenience if you don't already have it. And if you click on this, then it'll make a draft copy of the page or post or custom post type. That's a nice feature. Let's add a new page. We'll call it Exclusive Testing and edit it with Elementor. And then this next extension I want to look at is the sticky extension. But let's start by adding some content here. On this side, I'm going to add an image, and we'll just choose some images from the media library and duplicate that. Okay, I think maybe that's enough. Now let's add a heading, and we'll set the heading to be sticky. And there's a note here that it doesn't work in the editor. So let's try it on the front end. We'll save this and go take a look on the front end. And as we scroll, it stayed stuck to the top. Let's see if we can add some padding to the top here, or margin, so that it doesn't come right up against the top of the page. There we go. Okay, so you get the idea. You could have call to action there or whatever you wanted. Next extension I want to look at is the animated gradient extension. So I'm just going to delete this and add a new section, and let's give it some padding so it has some size. Okay, and now if we edit this section, we can see that there is a gradient animation. So let's enable that. You can see the colors changing there. Here, let's add some text here and make that white. And save that and go look at it on the front, and we can see how that's fading and changing. That looks really nice, and I like that. But there was one kind of issue I found when I was playing with this. If we go in and we change the colors, say, and make that a light blue and maybe this a purple, and save, and go back to the front, it doesn't show. So there's some bug here. If I look at the Chrome Inspector, you can see there's a JavaScript error. As I was testing, I ran up against several things that didn't work, and so I looked at this error more closely, and it's saying, you know, check the API. And when I went and looked at this, this is the library for animated gradient. So there's some bug with that right now, and I had to turn that off in order to get some of the other things to work, which I guess that JavaScript bug was wreaking havoc with some of the other extensions and widgets. So let's go to the exclusive add-ons, and we will turn that extension off, which is too bad because I really liked it. Okay, let's go back to our page and look at the next extension. Let's look at the particles. We'll turn that on, and it suggests we should set some background option here. So I'm going to go to the background and just give it a color. Okay, there's our text there, and let's make that a little bit darker color. Alright, so this particle background is kind of cool. They have options here where you can change the colors and the particle size and the number of particles, line distance, speed, and so on. This is the polygon. They have several presets. There's one called NASA, which is just kind of a dot, and bubble, which looks like a polygon, snow, back to just a dot, and Nyan Cat, which are stars. Those are the presets. I like the polygon one with the connecting lines. The NASA and the bubble and the snow kind of look very similar, so I'm not sure what was going on with those. But anyway, that's the exclusive particles extension. Now let's add the parallax, and let's give this also some size, and let's enable the parallax effect on this one. So it asks us to pick an image. I'll take that one. Okay, and I thought I had, oh, that's margin. Should have set padding. And now let's add a heading, and we'll make that text darker, and let's align that center. Okay, and so that we have some more content below here for scrolling, we'll just add an image here, and let's update and go take a look at this one. So there's our particle, and here you see it scrolls the image there. You see the image stays in place as the rest scrolls. I like their placeholder. That's the parallax extension. And now for the copy paste extension. And did you see this? This is something that the parallax isn't supposed to take effect beyond the section, but I've seen that happen a couple of times. So I'm not sure what's going on. Let's see if we refresh, if that fixes that. No. So I think there's a little conflict or something with that. It's not a big deal, but I can see if you're kind of working on sections, doing some designing, it could be a little confusing having the sections not stacked as you expected. And the last extension is this copy paste cross domain. And you access that here, you copy it, and then you go to your Elementor editor with the Exclusive Addons Pro installed, and you could paste it. And I tried that out, and it works just as expected. So that's the last extension there. Before we look at the widgets, I wanted to look real quick at the pre-designed library that comes with Exclusive Addons. I'm just going to delete these items here. And I'm doing that strategically. Let's look at the pages. There are 11 pages. 2 of them are for free and the rest are for pro. And then there are a large number of blocks. One of the cool things here is that they have blocks for a lot of the widgets. And a lot of the blocks have different preset styles. And so you can use the filter here to find the ones you're interested in. Let's start with dual heading and insert this one. So that was the strategic part. I'm using their pre-designed examples. You have 2 content areas. You have the option for make this part a link, and then a quote-unquote subheading, which is just kind of text. You do have the option for an icon, which is a little different than some of the other dual heading widgets I've looked at. And in style, you can set the position alignment of the icon and its color and size and margin, and you can totally customize the first and second heading, so you can have different backgrounds, different font color and size to achieve your dual heading style. And then you can adjust the typography of the subheading. So that's the dual heading, and it's kind of standard, but it has a few additions there to make it something different. Let's add another one. They have this animated shape, and you can see it just kind of pulsates around and, you know, puts a mask around the image, and it has preset styles. So that's the animated image, and let's add another one. Oh yeah, there's this COVID-19 widget. And I guess COVID's going to be around for a while longer, so people might get some use out of this. Turn off the parallax. Not on. Okay. Looks like that reset it. Okay, so change the image. Okay, so you see it's like looking for the parallax image. I'm just going to delete everything off this page. Okay, there's nothing, there's no section here, but it's still wanting to add a parallax image. Try updating again. There we go, we got rid of that. Okay, so that's a little funky thing. Guess it's not a big deal, but you run into it, you might have to do something like refresh or something to get rid of it. We were looking at the COVID widget. And this is actually really got a lot of options here. You can just toggle them on or off. You know, the country, the total cases, total recovered, you know, death toll, everything. You have all those options here. And then the columns for the table. I guess there's a site where it's picking this up automatically with an API. So let's just go take a look at this one on the front. And I like that it has these filters here. So, you know, you can filter for Europe or Africa, South America, and so on. So that's pretty extensive for just a widget. Let's see, there are a couple others that I wanted to look at. There's a demo previewer. So this is really attractive. So you have a repeater here and you create the cards. You know, if you want a new card, you add another item in the repeater and you can reorder them. And then each of the cards has a lot of interactive elements. So you have a cover image, a scroll image, and then you give it a title. You can have a URL, description. You can have a content button, which is I think this, yeah, with a link, or you could have it as an icon instead of text. And you know, you can give it tags for the different ones and labels and have borders and box shadow and everything. So really extensive. And so I think this is really cool. And then because you've added these tags, then you can use the filter here. And so I think that's really nice. I think it's really attractive. And that scrolling bit there is pretty cool. I think the only drawback of this is that, you know, there's no query here. It'd be nice if you could pull like posts or portfolio or custom post type or something in instead of having to set all these up manually. But if you have a finite number, it's probably worth it for the nice artistic effect. I like this widget quite a bit. And another one that I like is the image hotspot. Let's add that one. If we look at the options, again, you know, you have the repeater for each of the hotspots. And if you click on one, you get the tooltip. And I just thought this was very well organized. I thought that it looked very stylish. I like how that looks. So this is actually one of the nicer image hotspot widgets that I've looked at. So I was pretty pleased with this. And see, we have... there's some alerts. You can have an icon, optional. You can have a special title. And you know, you have the description. You have a close button, can be an icon or a button. And then you can style these things. But what's interesting about this widget is that if you look on the front end, these can be dismissed. And so that's a nice thing. So that's the alert box. I guess a staple of add-ons are the post widgets. So let's add one of those. There's a news ticker post widget. So you have that. These are the titles of the posts, and you can toggle the items on or off. Let's see if the items, do we have a background color? Yeah. I guess I'd like this one that stays still. This label to be a different background color. See if we can get that, or if I'm thinking of something different. There's the news ticker widget. Then there's the post grid. And I think this one is attractive. It's kind of straightforward. It has reading time on it. Many of them don't have that, so that's interesting. But generally, it's kind of your basic post grid. You can set how many posts, how many columns. You can exclude or include, you can order them. And then you have some options for how big the excerpt is and which post meta you're going to include or toggle off. It's kind of pretty basic. So these are probably kinds of things you see in most of the post widgets. You can choose custom post type. I like to have like a row layout with a list, single book, since these book covers are so tall, have book cover with the content to the side. Oh, okay, here's an option you can set to the left. We make the image a little smaller. Alright, so you can do that, so that's pretty nice. I guess I'd make the excerpt a little larger so that it fills up the space, but so that it is flexible enough to handle a custom post type like books. So let's go back just real quick and look at the widgets. Maybe we should look at charts. So you have a bar chart, horizontal bar chart, a line, a radar, and a pie. You manually enter your labels, and then you set the data there. So that could be useful. Let's go take a look at the header and footer builder. I imagine people have probably seen this kind of thing before. So create template, we'll just call this site header. And you can choose it for header or footer. You can make it sticky if you want. And then there are display options. So if you wanted to have more than one header, maybe some for landing pages and some for posts and pages, whatever, we'll just say the entire website, and we'll publish that and then edit with Elementor. And so let's add a section, and we'll put an image here. And let's choose, I got a logo for Exclusive Addons. Let's make it a thumbnail. And then over here, we'll add a menu. Okay, and then we'll set the background color. Edit section, go to the background, set the color. All right, then we'll need to set the color of the menu items. We'll make that white. All right, you get the idea here. Let's go view the page. Let's see, so for this, I think we want to have a link, and we'd have it go to the site. It's just a testing site here. There we go. Okay, so you get the idea. There's the header builder. Pro version of the plugin comes with a few widgets to help with the designing. There's a search widget, there's a site tagline and site title widgets. There's also an off canvas if you wanted to use that for your mobile menu, and there's a mega menu widget also. So there are some widgets here to help you make your header and footer. So that's a look at the different aspects of the add-on. Let's move on now to discussion and conclusions. The Exclusive Addons free and pro plugins have a lot of widgets. Many of them are standard things like flip boxes and accordions, but there are also a few more unique offerings. I really like the image hotspot. Seem well put together and very stylish. Yes, COVID will be with us for a while, so some people might find that widget useful. Certainly very extensive. The demo previewer widget looks very nice. I like the front end filters and the scrolling image that you have in the card, but the setup of it's all manual. It would be nice if you were able to hook that up to your posts or custom post type. There were an okay number of extensions. The one to duplicate a post is a nice convenience. It was too bad there was a bug with a gradient background extension, as I really liked that. There was also that little glitch with the parallax background extension. The particle effects presets were not that impressive. I've seen other add-on packs that the difference between the presets was a little nicer. There were not that many pages in the pre-designed library, but there are a good number of blocks, and I like that many of the widgets have blocks for them with the different style variations. You saw it was convenient for me in making the video, and I think it would be convenient for other people in putting pages together. On a higher level, the full and detailed documentation is a big strength. I like that you can disable the widgets and extensions that you aren't going to use. The default pricing seemed a little high, though the sale pricing is more normal. Every company can set their own pricing. I'm just giving my opinion there. Perhaps that high default price is a sales tactic. But anyway, other than that one bug, the plugins seem pretty solid. If you need a general purpose set of widgets, then Exclusive Addons is worth taking a look at. Elementor users are very fortunate that there are a lot of options. So depending on the sale price at the time, you might compare exclusive add-ons with other general add-on packs to see where you would get your best value. So that's the walkthrough and review of exclusive add-ons. There's a text version of the video available on the Elementor 360 website, along with other walkthroughs and tutorials and reviews and resources. I hope you found the video useful. Thank you for watching.